been seeing a lot of rude comments, especially on Facebook with this justice group apparently. And so I know many of you guys are wondering about this story and this case and what's really going on. But first of all, I'm Leslie. I shouldn't even say my name, but oh well. I'm one of Jolie's closest best friends, and this is kind of hard, but I just think it needs to be put out there. What I'm wearing is the twins and I best friend ring, which is attached to my cross necklace I was given for Christmas. But so let's just start from the beginning of this case. It all started that Friday night around 5. Especially that day was just intense for me, only because that day she was supposed to be with me. We were planning on having a sleepover that Friday, and I was supposed to pick her up around 6 after work, and she left around 5 with another friend. So I didn't get to her house around 6 o'clock at night when I got off work and stuff like that. I texted her where she was and everything, and that I'm here at her house waiting for her, but she didn't show up. And then she got hold on. Anyways, thanks, Destiny. But yeah, so she was supposed to be with me. That's how this all started. But essentially she went to a party in Norfolk, which is only a 3-hour drive. She wanted to go party, and then that's okay. I mean, that's what us teenagers tend to do nowadays. But I mean, it was hard. So I stayed at her house about 10 minutes because she was slow texting me. And then I went home and waited for her to respond back, and she didn't. And so I called the sister. I FaceTimed her saying, "Where's Jolie?" and this and that. And then it turns out she's at a party with an African American friend who I don't know much about. I probably know that he's only around his 20s or so and stuff like that. That's the only older guy I know of that she talked to me about. So I went home that Friday after I waited 10 minutes at her house, and then I still got no response, and my messages weren't sending through, so that's when I knew her phone was dead and stuff like that. So I kept texting her, but then I stopped after I finished FaceTiming the twin sister and stuff like that. She told me not to worry about it and stuff like that because, she's out there doing her thing, which is fine and stuff. So I said, okay. So then we hit Saturday morning. I still haven't heard back from her, and it's unusual because knowing Jolie, she charges her phone non-stop when it's dead and stuff like that. She can't go without her phone, so she always try to have a way to get access to a charger, but she didn't. So it was getting a little bit weird. So I decided to head back to the twins' house and meet up with the twin sister that was home. But it looked kind of suspicious because Jolie was supposed to be with me, and I'm at their house without Jolie. And so initially I was supposed to have both the twins over at my house, but Zane, who's here, she's having another friend sleep over because they haven't hang out, so it was supposed to be just me and Jolie and stuff like that, just to clear that out and stuff like that. So I met up with them, and then Zane was freaking out because the twin hasn't responded to our text messages and everything. And so she started panicking and started crying, and she wanted to get out the house. So we got out the house, we drove around, I'm the driver and stuff like that. And so we drove to a parking lot at the shopping center. We just stood there, waited for her to respond, Jolie, but the messages weren't still going through and stuff. I didn't meet the uncle till Saturday, who was supposed to take care of the twins after the dad is gone out of town and stuff like that. So the dad was out of town, guys. He is not involved with the murder and stuff. And so she was panicking still, Danae, because the sister wasn't responding, and it wasn't like her to not respond. because she's a quick responder and stuff like that, and her phone is always blowing up with people texting her, so it was unusual. So we went back to the house to see if she came home already, but she didn't. So we met up with the uncle who was out and stuff like that. So we finally decided to tell him that something is iffy about Jolie's missing and haven't come home yet. And so we got the uncle. I drove the uncle and Danae back to their house, the twins' house. And so we were talking everything through and stuff like that. We were constantly texting Jolie's phone, hitting her social media up, and we got nothing back still. So we're saying her phone is still dead, and blah, blah, blah. We met up with one of the guy who we thought she was supposed to be going to the party with, but didn't. He said he was at work and everything. So he was basically out the picture. We still had tags on him and everything, but he was just kind of to the side now. And we continue moving on. We still got phone calls and text messages to friends to see if they know anything. But a lot of people were saying they don't know her, which it's a lie because they know her, because we already know, we've seen them or stuff like that. And so we were home trying to figure out what's going on and stuff like that. We waited and waited. We gathered information. So we were basically playing FBI or detective at that moment and stuff. And the uncle was making phone calls to the boy who he let this guy borrow the cell phone to call Jolie at that time and stuff like that. So he was talking to that boy and stuff like that. So we were just getting information. I was trying to picture the time frame and everything, and it didn't make sense because, you know, they have a curfew during the weekend and they never break curfew knowing the twins. So it was pretty hard and stuff like that. But so it got to a point where we weren't going nowhere with these information because no one was really being cooperative and being truthful because we were caught in them in their lives and everything. So I talked to the dad, and the dad was thinking it was time to, you know, get the cops involved. So I asked permission from both the dad and the uncle. And so I'm the one who made the police phone call and got them to come out to the house. And it was a lot. It was hard to do that phone call because she's my best friend, and I never thought I would have to make a phone call saying my best friend is missing. But I knew it was time to get them involved because it just was an unusual behavior of her. Because her phone, you know, she always responded. She never lets it die and stuff like that. So I got to call the cops. I gave her information what's going on. It took them a really, really long time to get here. That's the only part that blew me. Like, we spent like 2 hours waiting for them, and it just gets me on my nerves because they're so quick to pull us up on the highway when we're speeding or not doing anything, and they easily pull us up, but they can't get here out of house when there's a missing child reported. And so I got zero sleep that time, probably about an hour of sleep, and then I had to come home. I left the house on Sunday morning after we report her missing on Saturday and stuff like that. And so it was Sunday morning, you know, I got no sleep and everything, but I was home, and I was sitting just like this on Sunday, the second day she gone missing, and it felt so long being here. So I got out the house and drove back to the twins' house, but I didn't make it to the twins' house because I got into a car accident, and I wasn't paying attention, so I'm okay though. Got my car fixed, so I'm driving and stuff, so it was just a lot to bear. We were still trying to blow up her phone. Every night since she's gone missing those 2 weeks, I sent her a long paragraph how much I miss her and how much we need her to come home and stuff like that. And before the police even contacted X, I contacted the ex personally. I drove up to his house. I questioned him where he was that Friday and Saturday night. And the only information I got, and no, I'm not saying names because the police are right. He is a minor still. Well, he's our age, but he's still young and everything. And you just can't give his name out when he's not even being charged with this case. But I talked to him and stuff like that, and he said he was home Saturday night, and on Friday he only went to 2 class periods and then came back home. So that's what he was doing Friday and Saturday night. And I think the grandmother or the mom was home. I don't know who or how they're related, but someone was at the house when the time I get there, which was nighttime, because we were still solving who was she talking to and everything. But yeah, it was really hard. So we went to him, and he just told us he was home all the time, and I'm like, okay. So, and yes, I knew that the ex-boyfriend and Jolie were talking secretively, and they didn't want anyone knowing and stuff like that. But I always encouraged her to stay out of that situation with him, because he was abusive. He did hurt her. He was with Mark, and that's the reason why he is charged. He is not charged because of the murder. He is charged because of the abusive relationship they had in the past before she's gone missing. So that's why he is a person of interest due to the abuse. I know currently they are letting him out tomorrow, and it's a good idea that they have a monitor device on him, because you can't hold on someone in the jail cell more than 24 hours or 48 hours without hardcore evidence that leads him to the case. So monitoring him is a good thing that they're doing, and not really just letting him off the hook, because he can always still be a suspect, and they can always come back and get him, and they know where he will be at if they do find a lead of him. So that's basically the main thing. I mean, she's not with us, and it's hard, and we're coping as hard as we can and stuff like that. I know many of you guys saw a live video yesterday, and we're getting pretty negative views or comments about it, which I don't understand. I mean, yes, we're twerking videos, there's just a small kissing and everything, but I mean, we're sisters. I mean, we're best friends, and you know, sometimes we just gotta do some stupid stuff to make each other happy and stuff like that. But there's this Facebook page, it's called Jolie Mosa. What is Mosa? I forgot their name. Theories and discussion and stuff like that. So we're getting mainly negative views there, but it's okay. We're still doing us, and we're still being there for each other. And you know, it was hard posting missing report about Jolie, and they didn't give us an Amber Alert because they counted her as a runaway. Jolie is never the type of child to run away. She has a very, very supportive family, supportive friend. I'm mostly hanging out with her outside of work after I get off work. They know my work hours. So I'm basically with the twins all the time and stuff like that. I hang out with them. We do things together. And so, you know, she was depressed now and then and stuff like that. But it wasn't a runaway. And that's the part that really hit us, because we know our child or our best friends and how they behave. So when something is ordinary, police enforcement should take our words, because we live with her and we're around her. So they didn't take that seriously. So yes, I thought if the police gave us an Amber Alert, the outcome will probably be different and stuff like that. And you know, it affected me a lot, because you know, I'm the girl who Jolie and the twins are supposed to spend over with and stuff like that. And so really, the ex-boyfriend, with him, you know, there's still 50-50 with him, honestly, in my opinion, and what I know based on what I know of him, because I do know him. I did associate with him. We had some class together. And so, yes, he was abusive, but you know, he really did love her and everything. He just had a really wrong way of showing it. So him being a murderer and stuff like that just kind of, you know, threw things off and everything. But the way he behaved with her in the relationship, you know, he could be wrong and could have done it. So there's a 50-50 with him. But the monitoring him it's a really good idea on the law enforcement side of the police. Except for that, I don't know if you guys are asking any questions. You can